And I welcome you all. It is with profound gratitude to Almighty God I wish to respectfully welcome everyone to this inaugural sitting of the ad-hoc committee constituted by the House of Representatives to investigate the alleged establishment of the Presidential Foreign Investment Promotion Council that seems to exist without a valid legal basis. At the onset, I express my deepest appreciation to the Right Honourable Speaker, Tajuddin Abbas, GCON, PhD, for personally inaugurating this committee through the House Leader of the House of Representatives and for the confidence reposed in me and my distinguished colleagues to undertake this very important national assignment. Mr. Speaker, your leadership has continued to strengthen the House of Representatives as a truly people-oriented institution. As a truly people-oriented institution committed to transparency, accountability, effective oversight, and responsive lawmaking. Through your reform-driven agenda, the House has consistently demonstrated its commitment to constitutional governance, institutional accountability, and responsive representation. This committee, Mr. Speaker, is yet another reflection of your resolve to ensure that public institutions operate within the bounds of the law and remain accountable to the Nigerian people. The 10th House of Representatives has continued to distinguish itself as a parliament that listens to the voices of Nigerian people and responds to their yearnings and aspirations through purposeful legislation, diligent oversight, and timely intervention on matters of national importance, such as this. This pro-Nigeria and people-oriented approach has further strengthened public confidence in the National Assembly and has also reaffirmed the constitutional role of a legislator as a guardian of accountability, transparency, and public interest. The responsibility, therefore, before us now is both significant and sensitive. Our mandate is to objectively examine the circumstances surrounding the alleged establishment and operation of the Presidential Foreign Investment Promotion Council, determine whether due constitutional and statutory processes were followed, engage all relevant stakeholders surrounding the circumstances, carefully review the available evidence submitted to this committee, and submit appropriate findings and recommendations to the House of Representatives for further action. We shall approach this assignment with an open mind, guided by the Constitution, the law, credible evidences to be presented before us, and the overriding national interest. I wish to assure Mr. Speaker that the House of Representatives, all stakeholders, and indeed Nigerians, that this committee will discharge an assignment with absolute fairness, impartiality, professionalism, and integrity. Every individual and institution connected to this investigation will be accorded to fair hearing, while our proceedings will be guided by the principle of natural justice, transparency, and due process. I sincerely appreciate my honorable colleagues on this committee for accepting this responsibility to serve our nation. I equally commend the committee secretariat for the preparedness and dedication to our able clerk and the director. I am confident that through our collective commitments and professionalism, we shall produce a report that will not only assist the House in arriving at informed decisions, but it will also strengthen our democratic institution and reinforce the rule of law. As we formally commence this assignment today, I pray Almighty Allah grant us wisdom, discernment, courage, and fear of God to faithfully discharge this responsibility. May God Almighty guide our deliberation and recommendation so that our work will advance justice, uphold constitutions, and serve the best interests of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Before thanking you all, may I use this opportunity to welcome and appreciate all our invited guests who are here with us, particularly some that I have cited and seen personally, the head of civil service of the Federation and the chairman of the ICPC, including other representatives that are here of CBN and other agencies so invited. Thank you all for listening, and may God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you.
Presidential Foreign Investment Promotion Council, PFIPC, and placement within the federal budget framework. Just days ago, we concluded another highly successful National Identity Open Week. Through this initiative, the House of Representatives reaffirmed its unwavering commitment to transparency, accountability, and citizen participation. Nigerians witnessed a legislature willing to listen, explain its work, and submit itself to public scrutiny. Today, as we inaugurate this committee, we put those very principles into action. At the 10th House of Representatives, we consider oversight to be more than just a constitutional duty. It is a very channel through which citizens take part in governance. Every investigation we launch and every public hearing we conduct reinforces one simple truth. Government exists to serve the people, and we must remain answerable to them. The subject before this committee is one that has generated considerable public interest. For weeks now, discussions surrounding the Presidential Foreign Investment Promotion Council have dominated public media reports, commentary, and debates. Questions have been raised about the legal institutional mandate, operational framework, relationship with existing agencies, and importantly, its appearance within the federal budget framework, despite widespread uncertainty regarding its establishment. These questions deserve clear, factual, and authoritative answers. The House of Representatives has therefore not constituted this committee to validate speculation or amplify controversy. Neither is this a political exercise. Our objective is simply to establish the facts. Democracy functions best when facts prevail over rumors, evidence over conjecture, and accountability over opacity. Where legitimate public questions exist, Parliament has both the authority and the obligation to seek answers in an open, fair, and transparent manner. Accordingly, the committee's assignment should be guided by clear terms of reference. First, it should determine the legal basis, if any, for the establishment and operation of the Presidential Foreign Investment Promotion Council. Second, it should investigate the circumstances surrounding the creation of the council, including processes through which it came to existence, and whether these processes complied with the Constitution and extant laws. Third, it should examine the mandates, powers, governance structure, sources of funding, operational activities, and institutional relationships of the Council with existing statutory agencies responsible for investment promotion, economic planning, and public finance. Fourth, it should investigate the circumstances under which the Council found its way into the federal budget framework, identify the relevant approvals, authorizations, and budgetary processes involved, and determine whether due process was free. Fifth, it should assess whether there has been any duplication of statutory functions with already established government institutions, and evaluate the implications for public administration, fiscal responsibility, and institutional efficiency. Sixth, they should receive memoranda and testimonies from all relevant ministries, departments and agencies, constitutional bodies, experts, civil society organizations, and members of the public whose evidence may assist the committee in arriving at informed conclusions. Finally, it should make recommendations to the House on any legislative, administrative, or institutional reforms necessary to strengthen transparency, eliminate ambiguity, prevent duplication of functions, safeguard public resources, and reinforce accountability in the establishment and funding of public institutions. These terms of reference underscore that this inquiry is not about personalities. It is about institutions, and moreover, it is about the integrity of public administration. It is sacrosanct that every public institution derives its authority from law and exercises its responsibility within the limits prescribed by law. To all invited stakeholders, public officials, and witnesses, I urge you to approach these proceedings in good faith. The committee can only succeed if every participant places honesty above expediency, evidence above emotion, and national interest above partisan considerations. This House expects the truth, not rehearsed scripts or defensive history. Nigerians deserve candor. They deserve explanations that will stand scrutiny. They deserve to know with absolute certainty that their public institutions operate within the law. I therefore encourage everyone appearing before this committee to cooperate fully, provide complete and truthful information, and assist the committee in discharging its constitutional mandate. To the chairman, Right Honorable Yusuf Adamu Gandhi, PhD, OON, and members of this ad-hoc committee, the House has entrusted you with an assignment of considerable public importance. Conduct your proceedings with fairness and as much as possible protect the rights of every witness. Give every interested party an opportunity to be heard. Follow the evidence whenever it is. Let your conclusions be guided neither by public pressure nor political convenience, but by facts, the Constitution, and the law. The credibility of parliamentary oversight rests not on the conclusions it reaches, but on the integrity of the process by which the conclusions are reached. And it is through investigations such as this, conducted openly and fairly, that democracy renews itself, and citizens are assured that no question of public importance is beyond scrutiny. On that note, it is my honor and privilege to formally declare the ad-hoc committee inaugurated, and with the committee members and participants fruitful deliberations in the service to our nation. may God continue to bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Leaders, Honorable, the chairman of this ad hoc committee, Honorable Yusuf Gandhi, my respected colleagues, Secretariat, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of this ad hoc committee and the House of Representatives, we want to most sincerely thank you for honoring our invitations to inaugurate this committee. We assure you that as a committee, we will try our best to arrive at the truth. Whatever that you might have read from the media on this issue remains allegations. It is up to the committee now to empirically verify those allegations. And I assure you that in line with the excellent provisions of sections 88 and 89 of the Constitution of the Republic of Nigeria as amended, will unravel the issue, the truth behind this Foreign Investment Promotion Council, while urging you to cooperate, to assist this committee in whatever way possible. We wish you some journey back to our places, and also believe that please assist us in whatever way possible to do our job and arrive at the truth. Thank you very much.
He was a DG to Presidential Economic Advisory Council, as well as a Director General to Presidential Foreign Intervention Promotion Council. We have all the facts here. So thank you, Clark. Right to them. Speak to us like you. I believe Nigerians will know the truth, and the truth, the right thing is going to be established. So I hope with what will go out there in the media, other people we invited will be so patriotic, like the head of civil service of the Federation, to speak to us with facts, to speak to us with evidence, and to speak to us with reference. So I think the two directives, Federal Character Commission, police, yes, Director of Salaries and Chairman Salaries and Wages Commission, as well as Federal Revenue Mobilization Commission, was mentioned here. The police knows they are aware about. We need them to clarify some of these things that are here. So writing to the police, and we need the Inspector General of Police to be there.
Sir, please permit me to clear that the budget was put, the council was put on the budget, not by my office, definitely, because we don't have the power of authority to do so.
Thank you, Head of Service. Thank you. Any other responses? It's a very speculation to say that while there is speculation that the council acquired office in the first state, we can state at good hand that the Office of Head of Service did not allocate any office space to the PEAC/PFIC 160. The office space indicated and the council's physical address to the Federal Secretary of State is part of the office space allocated to Office of Secretary of the Government of Nigeria. I will say this committee indirectly that we should ask Office of the Secretary of Officials about the issue of Honorable she can tell us to ask. Someone the Secretary to the Government of the Federation to tell us because she has frequently given us evidence of allocation of that office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation is annexed here. So it's left for us to include invitation to the office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation to come. We will present him with the evidence that there was an approval given to you in 2003 for an office space
your office is being allocated to an agency under Coun. So what he is saying is that we are going to invite the office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation to come and explain how the office space was allocated to the Presidential Foreign Intervention for Investment Promotion Council and Presidential Economic Advisory Council. I don't know. So we will invite the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, including as part of those two. Although we have our pending invitation, so specifically in addition to the information, we are asking the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation to appear this committee. We are equally attaching an addendum to explain how the office, since the head of service have refused us completely from the fact that they did not allocate that space to that agency, they allocated it to SDF. So the office of the SDF, not attacking SDF, his office should explain to us how that office allocated to him was reallocated to another agency. Any further question? In addition to the first letter sent to me, to appear before us and explain with some documents, there is further revelation that the office that the federal agencies is occupying was earlier allocated to the office of the Secretary to the State Government. So it is not the office of the head of service that allocated it to the agency in question, rather the office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation. Is it the opinion of the honorable members that in addition to the area request, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation should appear with additional information as to why that office was allocated? Is it your general view? Any contrary? It has been approved that the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, in addition to the first invitation, should appear before this committee to explain how the office was allocated to the agency under investigation. Secondly, it was also agreed that Federal Revenue Mobilization and Fiscal Commission, Salary and Wages Commission, Budget Office, which is the second invitation, and thirdly, Federal Character should appear before this committee again in addition to the letter sent to explain their understanding of the controversy regarding the whole of this. Is it the opinion of honorable members? Thank you. They should appear all of them on Thursday by 10 a.m. So, Dr. Zena, any before we move to Syrian and
page 5 of the presentation, you mentioned that during the 2025 annual manpower budget defense exercise the PFIPC, you stated that that was your first time engaging with that agency, and you further explained that the organization was operating substantially with officers deployed or seconded from other government institutions and required and authorized institutions as stated in the main. You further mentioned that officials informed the department that 14 officers, including the Director General, that is the Chief Executive Officer, are already on the ground. Chair, have they this committee with the names of those 14 officers that are on the ground? And also requested issuance of an authorized establishment together with the recruitment to enable the organization to commence. So what I'm trying to know is that have you deployed officially any officer or officers to the council, and have you gone through these 14 officers that you mentioned here to know who deployed them? Were they employed by the PIC? Are they also seconded? I just want to know that, so that thank you.
Thank you very much. It was provided to the officials. So we do not know anything about the 14 officers. They were telling us that the 14 officers, some have been seconded, they have gotten from some other agencies, which is allowed for a new agency. So it was just an information for us so that we take note of those 14 officers in the total number of authorized establishments. So the authorized establishment is made up of existing officers and then the permission to recruit the extra.
Yes, but my question is that are you the one that authorized the 14 officers?
No, not at all.
And you have not found full authorized and from which agency you are ready.
It's really not our responsibility now. Because the agencies have the authority to.
So every agency has the authority to second any of his staff to any other ministry or agency without going through the office of the head of the service or the head of the system.
Ma'am, they did not send to any other place. These were the staff. Being a new agency, they needed people to start. So these are the staff, they on their own source form.
Thank you, ma'am.
So we don't know anything about the staff.
Thank you. Yes, sir. We'll get there. We'll get them and we'll get there. By the way, they have accountants in our findings that were deployed from other ministries, particularly Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Accountants and Officers. This is just the beginning, and by those days we limit ourselves to what you submit to us and what we want you to submit to us. But be that again, our engagement cannot be done without you. So we will take the role of this week in engaging other agencies like Federal Ministry of Finance, the Minister of Budget, the Director General of Budget, the other agencies, Salaries and Wages Commission, Federal Revenue Organization and Fiscal Commission, and what have you, so that we finish this week. By the time we hear from all agencies, we can now surround you to come and have an engagement with all the agencies so that whatever agency say, we will summarize our submission before them and find a way out. So I will rule that we may not invite you back until Monday next week, so that if you take us, we already understand that it's not a immediate use that now national council of establishment. Tell us all before you.
We received the invitation and there are questions. Before I go to the questions, let me say CBN as a banker to the federal government has the responsibility of opening all accounts for ministries, departments, and agencies. With the exception of few ones that have exemption from TSA. The process for opening the account requires a mandate from the Office of the Accountant General for the Federation. So once we receive that mandate, we perform all the necessary verification to confirm that this mandate is actually coming from the Office of the Accountant General, because they have introduced signatories and approving officer to us. So once we confirm that, we have some internal procedures too, which we follow to open those accounts, including segregation of duties, the department that handle receive the mandate, verify the mandate is different from the department that actually does the actual account opening. And those accounts, there is difference between opening them and operating them. After opening those accounts, before any agency operates any account, you must submit also through the Office of the Accountant General. We do not have any direct engagement with any ministry, department, and agency for account opening, for closing of account, for change of account nomenclature, except through the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation. So the Accountant General of the Federation receives the mandate from the agency, then send us this own mandate authorizing us to open account or to close account, or to change the nomenclature of an account. So that has been an established procedure. So before an account is operated also, the agency will write to the Office of the Accountant General requesting for signature mandate cards so that the agency signatories will complete that mandate card and submit to CBN, but through the Office of the Accountant General. The approving officer, who is also the chief executive officer of the agency, will have to be introduced by the signatories of those accounts. Once it's introduced, he has to submit a copy of his appointment letter. He has to submit his identity card. He has to submit his passport photograph, among other things, before you can operate that account. So, with this background, I need to answer all the questions that were written in the letter of the invitation. Number one is details of account operated by Presidential Foreign Investment Promotion Council. On the 30th of July 2025, we received a mandate dated 29 July 2025 from the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation, authorizing Central Bank of Nigeria open on the 30th July 2025, we received the mandate, but the mandate has a date on it that has got July 29, 2025. And I have submitted our response. A copy of the mandate is also attached to our response. Yeah. So we received the mandate authorizing us to open two accounts. One is US dollar domiciliary account, the other one is GBP domiciliary account for Presidential Economic Advisory Council / Presidential Foreign Intervention Promotion Council. Based on that mandate, we did the normal verification to confirm the genuineness of the mandate and also process the account opening. And two accounts were actually opened: domiciliary account, $1 account, £1 sterling account, for the Presidential Economic Advisory Council / Presidential Foreign Intervention Promotion Council World Service. However, since usually when we open the account, we also advise already through a letter that this account has actually been opened, so that it can inform the agency directly. So after opening this account, we did not receive any correspondence to collect signature mandate cards, or we are not introduced of who is the authorizing officers or who is the approving officers. We were not introduced to that. Based on that, those accounts remain inactive with zero balance and have never been operated. Those two accounts have never been operated. On the second question, the details of the account, of course, because we attach the statement of the account number is there, the currency detail is there, the one that is USD, the one that is the account name is also on the statement that we have attached. So those details. On the second question, record of foreign exchange allocations, remittances, and approvals made to or by the council. Like I said, the account have never been operated. As a result, there have not been any foreign exchange allocation to the council from CBN. There have not been any remittances into those two accounts. There have not been approvals, because even the approvals have not been, the authority have not been established operate their account. So there was no transaction made to or by the council throughout the period from August when it was opened till today when we generated the statement. The details of financial inflow, you can mention this, that's number 3 question. The account have maintained zero balance from inception to date. The accounts have maintained zero balance from inception to date and have never recorded any inflow or outflow. The statement of account is attached. Number 4 question on the evidence of compliance with CBN circular. Like I mentioned, where you need to comply, first of all agencies, including those that made mistake, to write directly to CBN, you always reply them that you have to go through Office of the Accountant General. So, the circular where we came in is largely before you open an account. We have a checklist which you must comply. So, this account has not conducted any transaction throughout the council has not conducted any transaction through their accounts and have no direct correspondence with the Central Bank of Nigeria regarding the operation of their accounts. We didn't have any direct correspondence with them. On the information on risk assessment, KYC, due diligence conducted on entities engaged by the council. Because the council were not, the accounts were not operated. We do not have any needs.
Yeah, I think you have answered us.
Yes, I've answered.
Open with other hands.
Through BBN portal. Yes, bank verification number.
Including agencies of government who have account with our own Zenith Bank, GT Bank, Fidelity Bank. If they open, you will have access to the database through the instrument.
Through BBN and through this. Yes.
Okay. We want to put it to you that CBN should provide us with all promotion, investment, intervention promotion council, as well as presidential economic advisory council. These are the 2 agencies we are investigating. So if we have CBN under the superintendent of the National Assembly, and you are here, it is an instruction of the National Assembly on behalf of the entire Nigerian people that from here to Thursday, we want details of account activities. I know CBN, if you discover that you have account with other banks, you can write to those banks to provide details of that account statement to within 2 hours, 3 hours, that will be provided. So we rule that the CBN government should provide this committee before Thursday the details of all financial transactions of presidential foreign intervention or investment promotion council as well as presidential economic council from the day of the opening of the account to the last day. This is the ruling of the committee. That is one request. Any other thing?
Confirmation by the Office of the Accountant General. Do you wear any other document? For example, don't you wear an enabling act to any government entity as part of the documents for open that account? You said you wear one authorization from the Office of the Accountant General. Don't you wear also an act authorizing the creation of that entity?
The Office of the Accountant General has that responsibility. So we do not.
Sorry?
So currently, sir, we do not require such document, but I believe Office of the Accountant General keeps those documents. Because when they are writing to us, they are only writing to us a mandate, single paper, listing the accounts that need to be up. This particular case, if you notice with what we are giving you as evidence, they are actually 4 accounts. But because our conversation is only on this council, that's why we mentioned 2. But actually there are 4 accounts on that list. The remaining 2 have nothing to do with this council, they are for another agency. So that's what we do today. Yes.
Chairman, I was done my question for
All finance accounts opened by the suspected Director General of that agency
The agency and its personal
and the personal account. Yes, plus the 2 officers will give you their name that they say is to the police. One David and one is Agobe or something. So we'll furnish you with those. Clerk secretarial will give your staff the 2 additional names so that while we get the details of financial transaction by the agency, we should equally get the details of financial transaction by the individuals that are working in that agency. So thank you. That's the rule. And to help us to unveil a lot of things. All the suspicions of money paid, money not paid, I think if we get those evidence, it will guide this committee in the right direction. But please, it should not exceed Thursday, so that it can help us conclude, and even if it's preliminary report that we present to the National Assembly, extend our ability to the CBN, but tell him we need him if you are coming with the. Sometimes courtesy is very important. Very, very important. If you come without him, I will ask you to go back with the evidence you don't need. I know where we can hammer. We can equally get back at the you know the light little captions that on the lighter mood I say. I'm not accusing you, I say on the lighter mood. You have great eye, I have great eye too. Thank you.